Hello. So earlier I did a how to elevate your style. Another way I'm going to show my skills is how ways to elevate note taking in 5 ways or less. The first one is annotation and summary. Annotation and summary are very important to build your data. When you build your data, you're building to know something. You're taking notes on it, but you're not comprehending it yet. You're summarizing each section on the sidebar of your book or whatever you're reading. And that summary text, you memorize that. You don't memorize the whole paragraph or essay or sentence. If it's a sentence, come up with one word to summarize it. Or try to fraction it down by 9 words. If it's bigger than 9 words, keep it around there. Okay. Number 2, podcasts on the topic. Podcasts on the topic that you are studying or note taking will help envelop you in the topic. Enveloping you in the topic basically means you're subconsciously learning about it. When you subconsciously learn about something, you're more likely to randomly pick it up in conversation, or you're more likely to become interested in it because you're constantly studying it. Another thing is music with the topic. Music with the topic, like learning a new language or just like a silly song that summarizes what you're learning about, it always works because you're engaging a different part of your brain. And when you engage a different part of your brain, you're more likely to make the neurons in your brain activate and move quicker because you're flexing different muscles at the same time within your brain. Another thing to envelop yourself, which is number 4, draw in the topic or take randomized notes within the topic. By randomized notes, I don't mean willy-nilly just go about it. I mean summarize all your old notes and just randomly flip to a section or point to a section and study that. Because most of the time, that's how teachers develop it on tests. They usually choose A, B, and they make the final answer B or C, which most likely means it's going to be B, so it's going to be randomized. But you don't know what's their A and B. So when you're trying to figure out which one's their A and B, you look for important topics. Important topics mean emboldened letters or highlighted words that are standing out of the text. Or do it based on the title of a paragraph or section. Sometimes the title tells you what the whole section's about, and that's what you need to study, not the whole paragraph. When you're cramming stuff in your head, you're not going to remember everything. You're only going to remember tidbits. And sometimes you just got to pick and choose the best tidbits. And when you pick and choose the best tidbits, go based off of what the textbook says to choose. I am taking College Now classes and courses. When I take College Now classes and courses, it's basically like you're in college. When you're in college, it's the same curriculum. They get the same test areas and have the same finals right before spring break every single time. It's just all based on who you have as a teacher. If you learn their learning style pretty quickly, and you read the curriculum that they have set aside, and you read the future assignments, then you'll be able to develop learning skills based around that teacher. When you're basing your skills around that teacher, you're going to want to find references, which is number 5. Finding references and materials. When you're finding references and materials, you want to look at websites like edu websites, like .edu and .org. You don't want to do really anything else because they could be unreliable sources. You don't want to find too many unreliable sources, and you definitely want to stay away from Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not always accurate, and it doesn't always cite its sources. When you cite your sources, it shows exactly where they got the information. You want to always have an EDU website because they base all of their responses and all of their essays off of research done in the field. By the field, it's different for every topic of study. If it's science, they go out and take data. If it's math, they go out and take data. If it's biology, they go out and take photos, then take data. It's a lot of data. And if you format it to be data in your daily life, you can find references that align with certain key points that you're looking for. I always suggest Google and Pinterest to make sure you always get that just right. And I highly suggest going to sources the teacher says to. Some people think they're useless, but when a teacher says that a source is useful, it probably has better information than a majority of sources. Either that or it aligns with the test or the exam. Exams are bigger than tests. So you always kind of want to be careful about what you choose. If this was helpful, let me know. But this is my 5 ways to elevate note-taking. Have a good day.